Good evening, friends, and good evening, humans. Today's little chat is dedicated to Donald Trump again, the man of the principle, the man whose word is worth something, but not in a material sense of worthiness, but in moral and integral worth. These are the rare human beings. So my deepest gratitude to his actions, his words, and all his team selection, because without his team or proper selection of his team, it would not be so easy to go through the most difficult time of getting rid of the dark ages from 2017. 21st century, we still live in the dark ages of profiteering, of sacrificing, of bloodthirsty creatures wandering around. We don't really know what happened in the Middle Ages. I mean, if you're learning through the history books, which is total nonsense. It's utter lie. So when you start realizing what the true meaning of the Dark Ages was, that the creatures like you've never seen here, they wandered the earth. How come there's no words in our books, in our educational system, in our history books about these creatures who are basically consuming humans openly, who are hiring in the real world for the profit religions and priesthood to perform all the nasty duties that they need. Actually, they need suffering, they need despair, they need fear from all these humans that were still wandering the planet. We really let our guard off. So with all of this saying, I'm very grateful to Trump and his approach, and is very related with the title for today, which is simple: Profit before principles. I'm asking you, do you put your profit, your material well-being before your principles? Are you putting your check or earnings before the morality of the job that you're performing? Are you putting your human integrity versus money or gold that you would steal from employees if you play a role as CEO, or let's call it a drug cartel leader or government leader who thinks only about a profit of the country, of the corporation, of the mafia groupation? All the same. So the only one who can judge you there is you. Are you questioning? Would you change your job? Are you earning too little? Or maybe you're earning too much for the job that you're not really performing, that you're just sitting there in some governmental office or in some industrial complex underground scientific facility and pretending that you're some major scientist who cannot even see the day of the light, and doing tremendous experiments, tremendous, horrendous experiments on other human beings. Doesn't matter. Even if they are in a petri dish, they are potentially human beings that you try to modify. So, I dare you, question your integrity. When you will say that's enough, I don't want to work for immoral company, immoral military complex, immoral university, immoral manufacturing, let's say, factory. You know that you're producing some nasty shit that could kill thousands of people just with one bomb or one application. If you're part of pharmaceutical conglomerate, world conglomerate, it all belongs under the same umbrella. And this head is actually cut off, so nothing left but you to realize that you don't have to work for this puny profit. Then you put a bit of your morality before the money, that you put your integrity before money, that you put your true heart for others before the money. Because money will be absolutely obsolete with energies or with a movement as Bitcoin, as a blockchain, as Ethereum, as a cryptocurrencies, as basically gifting each other funds or prosperity or wealth, whatever you want to call it. People will start gifting each other places to stay, food to cover them for months and months without asking them anything in return, without treating them like slaves. They will treat them like co-human who has been lost, who has been ill-treated by creatures like scientists, like governors, like manufacturers, like CEOs, like bankers, like generals, most of the generals. Rare ones that you see around Trump are that he picked. Not the ones that are leaving, but that he picked. But true patriots. They're not patriots about American patriotism. These are humanitarian patriots. They really want to save humanity. So it has to start somewhere. And why we don't start it in the midst of the nasty nest of the wasp's nest, which is United States, Washington DC. And this energy will spread into London, city of London, in a core. Then it will spread to Vatican. And these countries eventually will be no more. They'll be exposed what they really represent and what they were actually, how they've been enslaving humanity for hundreds of years. More, but let's say this present history that you kind of just start grasping that it's not what it was written in the books, that it's much, much sinister than anything described. Did you ever question why the witch hunt? Why Christianity runs, or let's say Rome runs a Christian hordes all over the Europe and into Asia and into Middle East? For what reasons? What did they want to achieve? Why are they confusing people with so twisted stories about Freemasons, about Jesuits, about Jewish are the only God's people, like the rest is not? Whoever comes with these kind of sinister stories, you have to question why they are twisting it so much. because they want to put a profit before anything else. And I'm not talking about material profit in terms of money or gold. I'm talking about your energy profit. Not that you will make a profit, but they are making profit of you being enslaved, of you being suppressed, of you being docile, of you being ill, or of you being, let's say, financially stretched. So how and in what terms you can come up with the money or with the profit to get out of this, to start bringing your values, valor or integrity or moral in any application of your life. The way how you treat your partner, the way how you treat your, let's say, governor or president. Think about this. Give yourself a freedom to start thinking openly out of these little boxes that you've been compartmentalized and you've been just squeezed and separated in multiple pieces. So none of the pieces of you are actually talking to each other. Because you are a father, let's say a title. You are a mother. You are an employee, or you are a boss, or you are Democrat or Republican, or you are Chinese or you're Russian, or you're communist or you're capitalist. So what are you? Which kind of hat or mask you planning to wear? My suggestion, none. Take all of these masks away and start observing the world from the peace within. There is nothing else more important and more profitable but this peace within. Only then you can recognize what is moral and what is immoral that you are doing. So, my bow to Trump and all of his administration. Know that these times are very short of a big transition when every single human, talking 7 billion humans or planetary beings who are walking on the surface, will know that something was very, very wrong the way how we lived. And they'll all have a chance. All of us will have a chance to do something different. So it's absolutely in your hands to start letting go of all the material needs, of all the material controls of yourself or controls of others, and you start paying attention to the morality of your actions. You start paying attention to integrity of your soul. Because if you don't have integrity, your soul cannot hold on to this body. It'll just jump out in the first next attempt of the darks to infuse you with any kind of fear, any kind of trauma, anything. You see the dam in America is going to burst. What, you freak out? Oh, poor people are happily it doesn't happening to me, but what's going to happen? Do you really have to care for this? Maybe you can actually think about that the cleansing has to be done. Especially California. Especially regions in America that have been infested with a fear and that this land has been stolen from the natives. And there is another big story of true American natives. Just to let you a little bit of teaser. The Indians, native Indians they call them, they're just the offspring of real natives in America. these are the blacks. So all this story about bringing African Americans, so-called blacks, into America was fake. It was so fake, but it's so well concealed into obscurity and darkness, nobody paying attention. So when this comes out, the real owners of American land are blacks. Then what we do? Do we return this to them? Are you ready to get rid of all of your material wealth and lands and has been stolen by generations before you, and some maybe by you, from the real natives? I think you will. I know you will.